This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. Very excited to be speaking with Rob Delaney and Jay Duplass about dying for sex. How are you both doing today?
Good,
Really
good,
good.
good to
How are
see
you?
you.
I'm good. I remember that during the height of COVID, I always said that the way that I would know the pandemic was over was when I felt comfortable eating spaghetti on the New York subway. And while that's not something I would ever do, as soon as I saw neighbor guy eating in the elevator, that was like what I flashed. Like this is the kind of reckless abandon for any kind of caution or
Yeah.
or food hygiene where I'm like, you know what, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun doing the different splats of taco filling, like onto my shoe and the elevator floor. That was a fun day. Good burritos too.
Nice.
Was that an important part of your audition and getting the role? You needed to be able to eat in a very
Yeah,
unappealing way.
yeah, I had to do the good plop on the floor. Yeah.
What do you like about neighbor guy?
I guess his transformation or his coming into his own, because he's just this collection of horrible sights and sounds and smells in the beginning, but then becomes really quite a fully formed and vulnerable and good and kind person. So, yeah, getting somebody who has sort of all that runway to experiment with and transform was a real thrill.
And I think Steve is inherently more likable from the outset, but he's also pretty quickly dismissed for being a little bit too maybe vanilla is the right word. What's your read on Steve, Jay?
Um, I'm very interested in Steve at this cultural moment, if you will allow me to put my professor hat on for a second. I think he's fascinating. I think there are so many guys who want to be the hero, who want to save somebody, who um, find their self-worth in winning, in checking the box. She had cancer. She no longer has cancer because I made a lot of freaking smoothies. That's a very convenient way to look at life. I think culturally we are programmed to look at life that way. And I think what's beautiful about this show is it is trying to break that model. And what it is saying so eloquently without saying it on the nose like I am about to right now is that that's actually not helpful. What's helpful is listening to people and meeting them where they need to be met, seeing them how they need to be seen, um, and um, and sexing them how they want to be sexed.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Rob. I think that's super poignant part of this show. And just feel like it's such a cool thing to explore, even if I am exploring the shitty side of it, the sort of like retrograde end of the spectrum.
And you both obviously share most of your scenes with Michelle Williams. What can you say about her as a co-star?
The best you could ever ask for. It's funny because I used to get intimidated working with great actors, but the more that you get to do it, the more you're like, oh, I love it because they're going to make you better. And if you can stay humble, which is really important to do as an actor and can be difficult for some people, but if you can stay humble and you can and stay open and teachable, then you really benefit from working with a truly great actor like Michelle. So, I mean, to speak about her specifically, she's very generous, she's very attentive, she's very kind, she's very present in the moment, she's excited to be there. She's trying to do something honest and genuine with each take, so she doesn't waste anybody's time, not hers, not yours, not the director's. And so just a real privilege and educational experience. And yeah, I can only hope that I gleaned a little bit of what it is that makes her great and can apply it to my own work because it was really, really special to sort of act opposite her.
Yeah, hard to say it better than Rob just said it, but I would agree, and I think it's such an interesting thought that it's not a great actor that's intimidating. It's actually intimidating to work with somebody who has a huge ego, who has a bunch of ideas about what things have to be. Michelle is a real artist, and just being in the same room making art with her, that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like, and now you're going toe to toe with Michelle Williams, because that is an impossible task.
Yeah.
She's one of our greatest living actors, being in a room with her acting is, you're joining together and figuring it out together. And there was quite a bit to figure out, I think, for all of us on this show. We're kind of like, exploring new territory. All of us were exploring new territory on this. And so, a beginner's mindset is required, if it's going to be any good and any fun. And it's so cool to be reminded of that when you're working with Michelle, and she's just like coming at it from just like, nobody knows anything. Let's figure this out.
I also enjoy your interactions with Jenny Slate as Nikki because I feel like she is number one about being fiercely loyal to her best friend, and that means not really liking either of your characters, even if she has some affinity. I feel like this is also a perfect role for her. What is it like getting to have those brief encounters with her?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. I mean, wish I had more. I think I have two scenes with her. One is minuscule, and then the other is more medium sized, but a lot of fun. So I was glad that I did get put through the paces a little bit with her one day, getting to run around in the rain. It was really raining, but not enough. So there added more rain, and we're running around. And I'm jumping on a truck and stuff. And she's so game, and really fun to work with, and playful. So that's, yeah, I only wish that I got to do more with her.
Yeah, she's a blast. I did a movie with Jenny like maybe 7 or 8 years ago where we were in love, and we've been buds, really good buds ever since. So, to me, honestly, I was just like, I'm just such a believer in Jenny. I think she's such a juggernaut of everything. And I was just so excited to see her play this really big and important role. And I think she broke new ground, and I don't know, I adore her. She's one of the funniest people alive. I mean, it's annoying being in scenes with her because she makes me break all the time. And it was fun to play Nemesis, and have that great scene that I have with her. That was new for us, and it was really fun to go toe to toe with her.
I know you've both been working in television for a while. I'm thinking specifically, most recently, Rob, of Bad Monkey, which is obviously a little bit more comic, a little less comic, different ways, and Jay, just Industry, which is probably a much, much harsher role than this. How do you think that television has evolved in recent years, and specifically to make this kind of show possible?
God.
You know what was nice was having Shannon Murphy across every episode.
Yeah.
That was really good because a lot of times in what they call prestige television, you'll have a few different directors, and that can be difficult,
Yeah.
And so this had sort of a uniformity, and because this is going to sound corny, but you wanted to feel like emotionally safe and looked after in this show because of the difficult stuff that it covered. So to have Shannon Murphy, the director, across the whole thing was really helpful in just creating a feeling of comfort. So yeah, in the evolution, it feels like with TV right now, we're sort of we're in a transition phase,
Yeah.
and there's things about the way, so-called prestige television is made that I think are great. And then there's things that I think are not so great. And in this show, it was all great. So I think this could maybe be a model for stuff moving forward.
Yeah, I think, obviously we've evolved to a place where you can really tell some amazing stories on TV. There's also a lot of C minuses out there, and there's a lot of people phoning it in, a lot of people making my least favorite word in the industry, content. But obviously this show is not that. And it just feels like such a gift and such a miracle when a studio, great writers, great director, great performers can all come together for a very specific purpose, and that's what this is. it's just like a wild experience to be able to be a part of it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.